Chapter 36 Arjuna's Return. Bhim, guided by his brother Hanuman, eventually reached the garden of celestial flowers. He quenched his thirst and then began collecting the flowers. "Stop! This is the garden of Lord Kubera. No outsiders are allowed here," a loud voice shouted out. "I am Bhim, the son of King Pandu. These flowers are not in Kubera's abode. They have sprung from the breast of the mountain, and they belong to me as much as anyone else." Bhim waded in further to collect more flowers. 100 of the celestial gods attacked Bhim, and with waves of his mighty mace, Bhim smashed them all away. The surviving gods ran back to their master Kubera. When Kubera heard of the incident, the Lord of Wealth smiled. "Let the Pandava prince take as many flowers as he likes." When Bhim returned home, he was greeted with a spectacular sight. A celestial vehicle had returned with their beloved brother Arjuna. Arjuna embraced his brothers and Draupadi. He handed many gifts to Draupadi, and the weapons he had collected he handed to his eldest brother Yudhishthir. Arjuna enthralled his brothers and Draupadi through the night with tales of his time in Indra's abode. He spoke of the rigorous training he had undertaken and the curse he received from Urvasi, which he would have to endure in their final year of exile. Before leaving the heavenly realms, Lord Indra had one final request. The inhabitants of the flying city of Nivata Kavacha had received a boon from Lord Brahma, which made them unconquerable by the demigods. Over the years, they abused this power and wreaked havoc in the heavenly realms. Arjuna was tasked with conquering the city and proving his mettle as a warrior. As Arjuna approached the city, the inhabitants flew out and attacked him in their numbers. They used many demonic illusions and fought with fierce weapons, but he was able to defeat them all with Indra's thunderbolt weapons and the various other divine weapons in his possession. Finally, Arjuna brought down the entire city with a mantra-charged astra, and in doing so, he had succeeded where Lord Indra himself could not. Arjuna's brothers were in awe of his tale and begged to see the weapons in action. Arjuna gladly obliged. He took out his Gandhava bow and commenced to show the weapons in order. When the divine astras had been set, the earth began to tremble and the sun hid itself in the clouds. Suddenly, sage Narada appeared. "O Arjuna, these weapons should never be discharged when there is no fit object, and when there is a fit object, they should not be released unless so pressed by the opponent. To discharge weapons without occasion is unwise. These weapons, when properly kept, will increase your strength and happiness, but if they are not properly kept, they can destroy the three worlds. Your brothers will behold these weapons soon enough, when you will use them for vanquishing your enemies in battle." Chapter 37 The Humiliation of Duryodhan. News of the austere life led by the Pandavas had reached King Dhritarashtra, and it grieved him to hear of his nephews and their wives' hardships. Despite his determination to see his own son, Duryodhan, ascend to the throne, the Pandavas remained family, being the sons of his brother Pandu. However, when Shakuni heard of the Pandavas' circumstances, his reaction was quite different. He manipulated Duryodhan into embarking on a sporting expedition into the forest, with the intention of camping near the Pandavas and flaunting their extravagant wealth and luxuries. Shakuni aimed to further break the spirit of the Pandavas, and Duryodhan readily embraced this idea. So, accompanied by his dear friend Kana, his many wives, his brothers, and his royal guard, including hundreds of fierce soldiers, Duryodhan set off into the forest. Upon learning of this trip, King Dhritarashtra, in his misguided belief that his son might be attempting to assist his distressed cousins, gave his blessings for the journey. As they journeyed, Duryodhan's group came upon a beautiful lake where he wished to swim with his wives and friends. However, the site was already occupied by soldiers from another kingdom. Duryodhan instructed his royal guard to clear the area so he could have the lake to himself. To their astonishment, The soldiers camped at the lake proved to be formidable adversaries, and when provoked, they retaliated violently. In the ensuing clash, Duryodhan's royal guard was soundly defeated. Even the valiant Karna was forced to retreat. Duryodhan and many of his entourage were taken captive, with only a few of his wives managing to escape and seek refuge in the Pandava camp. When Duryodhan's wives arrived at the Pandava camp, they implored Yudhishthir to help rescue their husband. Bhim scoffed at the idea. Why should we help our enemy? However, Yudhishthir, ever rational and stoic, recognized the importance of family. Duryodhan is our cousin and part of the Kuru dynasty. We cannot allow a family member to fall into enemy hands. Yudhishthir's decision surprised his brothers, but Draupadi, moved by the plea of the distraught woman, insisted that they rescue Duryodhan. The Pandavas gathered their weapons and set off on a mission to rescue their cousin. With the assistance of Duryodhan's wives, they located the enemy camp and executed a surprise attack, overpowering the warriors. As the leader of the enemy army revealed himself, Arjuna gasped in astonishment. Thank you for watching so far. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe. This will ensure that more people can find this resource. Click the notification button so that you can be the first to know about new uploads. And please do comment below. I'll do my best to reply to any questions. Thank you.